don't run away from knowledge. I don't tell those who follow me, don't listen to nobody. I don't give a damn who you listen to. Because after I've taught you, I leave you to be yourself. Go anywhere you want to go. Follow anyone you want to follow. Because I have never lost you if I never had you. Oh, I'm just setting the record straight. I'm not a Scientologist, but I respect L. Ron Hubbard. I know that this is the time that they're making an all-out move to destroy Scientology. But what I'd ask, Mrs. Remy, or whatever her name is, she's going in hard. She's hurt by something. I know a lot of Muslims that's hurt. Hurt because they came in looking for something, but didn't necessarily find what they were looking for and walk away. And when you walked away, where did you go? What did you do? How did you gain? What did you lose? I've been in it for 62 years. And I've suffered damn near every year of the 62. But I didn't come for a Negro that turned hypocrite. I did not come to fall because you didn't make it.
So I guess he's talking about Lisa Remini, and her coming out against Scientology. But he just said he respected L. Ron Hubbard. And what this man has done is tie the Nation of Islam to Scientology. So this is what I'm saying about these groups. These Hotep groups are not for you. They're run by people who are very deceitful. Now, he has the appearance of wanting to help black people. But why would you tie black people to an occultist organization and then stand on stage and say that you respect a man that claimed that he was Satan incarnate? That makes absolutely no sense. I'm going to just read to you the article that it says, Inside Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam, Strange Tie to Scientology. Scientology whistleblower Leah Remini pulls back the curtain on the bizarre merger between Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam and Scientology. Okay, it's a long article, but it's from the Daily Beast, and you all can just go look up that yourself. I'm not even going to go and read all of this. I'm just going to go to the part where she says why there's a connection between Louis Farrakhan and the Scientologists, because okay, so during a ceremony in Chicago on July 1st, 2012, Farrakhan proclaims to his acolytes, "I found the tool that I know can help us. And I thank God for Mr. L. Ron Hubbard, the Satanist." I added that part in. I just left this thing here. Pardon me, bear with me. It just, okay, so here we go. "I found the tool that I know can help us, and I thank God for Mr. L. Ron Hubbard, and I thank God for his research and teaching." Oh, Jesus Christ. The latest episode of Leah Remini's Scientology and the Aftermath, A&E's Emmy Award-winning docuseries, examines the tie between the Church of Scientology and the Nation of Islam. And who better to guide us through than Remini, who says that she was tasked with strengthening the partnership. Interesting. I was approached by Scientology. I was approached by Scientology to bridge the gap between Scientology and the black community. The black community don't need no more confusion, Leah. Thanks. And I wanted to do that. I had no idea what the Nation of Islam was, Remini says. I was a Scientologist, and I wasn't questioning what my church was asking me to do. The church, for its part, sent a letter less than 24 hours prior to the episode airing, claiming that it supports religious freedom and comparing Remini's show to Nazism. Okay. Okay, so y'all can go ahead and read that all to yourself. I'm going to skip to... So it just talks about all the different Muslims that have gone through the auditing process, are now, and it has this picture of NOI members recognized for using Dianetics. Auditors Day ceremony. You all, if you all can't put your critical thinking mind on and ask yourself, do you even study the leader of these groups that you are submitting your life to? This man just tied you to a satanic group, and y'all ain't even paying attention to that. Okay, so like I said, it's a long article. The one thing that infuriates me the most, if you find pictures of children in the nation holding Dianetic books Falu Muhammad offers, we have children that are in the nation. I don't want my child studying Dianetics or studying Scientology. So these are Muslims speaking out against that. You all need to. But I was trying to go back to the article part where it talks about the financial aspect of it and the kickback. But there's so many things on this page, it's hard for me to get to it. But essentially, if you go to that article and read the article, it talks about the financial incentive and the kickback that you get as a percentage of people paying to get into these groups. So these people give up some type of money. It's just like any cult. You give up a percentage of the money, and then those who got you in, I believe, you get a kickback from them. So according to Leah, Minister Farrakhan is getting a hefty financial incentive from tying the Nation of Islam to Scientology and making sure that his group and people go through the auditing process. Okay, so you all really need to understand what you're doing, because this is ultimately your responsibility and it's your choice. So L. Ron Hubbard is also connected to J.W. Parsons. And, both in 1946, he and J.W. Parsons, L. Ron Hubbard and J.W. Parsons, performed magical rituals aimed at incarnating the Thelemic goddess Babylon and bring that person in human form. Now, this is the same L. Ron Hubbard also that wanted to summon the Antichrist through sex rituals. This is the same man that your Minister Farrakhan just tied, or not just, but in 2012, tied you all to. Okay? Hubbard's corporation with Parsons, known as the Babylon Working, is one of the most controversial events in Hubbard's pre-Scientology Scientology days. Okay, and that article was from Brill.com, which is a repository of different articles. But you have to understand where this man is coming from, okay? His own son, L. Ron Hubbard's own son, in an interview in Penthouse magazine, I'll read you just a portion of it, okay? So it says in Penthouse, the interviewer from Penthouse says, "You were 16 years old at the time. What did you believe in?" This is Hubbard Jr., L. Ron's son, saying, "I believed in Satanism. There is no other religion in the house. Scientology and black magic. What a lot of people don't realize is that Scientology is black magic, and that's just spread out over time. To perform black magic generally takes a few hours or at the most a few weeks, but in Scientology it's stretched over a lifetime, so you don't see it. Black magic is the inner core of Scientology, and it is probably the only part of Scientology that really works. Also, you've got to realize my father did not worship Satan. He thought he was Satan." Remember, bringing you back to what Minister Farrakhan just said about how he respects L. Ron Hubbard and how he tied his group to Scientology in 2012. He was one with Satan. Let me repeat that again. Also, you do not realize my father did not worship Satan. He thought he was Satan. He was one with Satan. And this is a man that has a history of trying to summon the Antichrist. I guess it worked. He had a direct pipeline of communication and power with him, Satan. My father wouldn't have worshipped anything. I mean, you think you are the most powerful being in the universe. You have no respect for anything, let alone worship. Let's go back to how you saw Scientology working on an individual basis. What if someone wrote to your father asking if he could cure cancer? Hubbard, he'd say, "Oh yes, I could handle that." As I said before, prior to proclaiming himself the Antichrist or Satan incarnate, Hubbard tried to summon the Antichrist several times through different rituals and sex magic. He was also a student of Aleister Crowley, a Satanist and an occultist, who has also proclaimed himself the Antichrist. And if you don't know who Aleister Crowley is and his heavy influence on today's music and entertainment industry, please look him up. And be careful. That's why I tell you, be careful what you're listening to, because these stars that, like I was talking about, Sukiyana and Megan Thee Stallion, and all these girls up there talking about their pee and their buttholes, these are all plants in the music industry to try to turn around your image, black woman, and make you loose. Not sexy, but disgusting, prostitute-like. Loose. And destroy your image. And a lot of them are using black men as a tool to get to you. And manage you. And manage the women. And bring out the worst kind of filth that there is. To destroy you and destroy your image. And you can follow them. And then you destroy your personal relationships when you start emulating these demonic people. Okay? So let me just continue. I just wanted to give you a little background on Mr. Hubbard, the Satanist who thought he was Satan, that Minister Farrakhan tied the Nation of Islam to through his group Scientology, and now coming at Lisa Remini, who has decided to, shed the light on Scientology. and saying that basically the Nation of Islam, Minister Farrakhan, is getting a financial kickback from tying his people, the group that he's over, to this demonic so-called religion, because even Satanism is a religion.
I didn't come to criticize because you fell out. I came to get what I came for. I came for the knowledge. I came for the wisdom. But above all, I came to get understanding so I could represent my teacher better. So I did not lose, and you won't either if you hold fast to the handle of truth. You say, well, you know, they ain't perfect. Oh, no. Did we tell you we were perfect? Well, what made you think we were? Oh, the Word of God is perfect. Reverend, don't the people think when they hear a perfectly explained Word of God, they think we are like that?
I'm going to fast forward through some of this bubbly boo. I just wanted to talk about another section here. Let me see.
And clean up your act, because they're coming with a mind. And I have warned all of you. See, you told Rahm Emanuel.
He's talking about President Trump. I think this was back during the 2016 when Trump was president, and he told Rahm Emanuel to clean up Chicago or he'll do it for him. This is what I love about Trump. He was, you know, he handled his business.
Clean it up, or I will. And you threaten my young brothers. Let me tell you something. My brothers are in bad shape. And I have warned all of you. I told you that the army was coming. I told you to get your act together and clean up your act, because they're coming with a mind to slaughter us. Have I said it? Not just for a year, but for 3 decades. I have been warning you about the government of America planning a war, not only with a Muslim overseas, but with black people and the Nation of Islam in America. Have I not done that? Yes, sir. Now, Mr. Trump, you can come and you can bring your army. But if you read this book and know what your people have planned and are carrying out against young black men, then you come. But I'm going to warn you, Mr. Trump, this is not a forsaken people. And the God that we serve has promised us that he would fight our battles. We don't have no gun to equal yours.
I don't understand which God they're serving, because they just tied their group to a demonic, satanic organization whose leader and founder of that group called himself Satan. So which God are you serving? Please. The people want to know. You have women and children in these organizations don't know that you're actually, you just tied yourself to Satan. Were you following Satan all along? Be honest with the people about who you're really following and who you have tied them to.
But we got a God. Check out the West Coast. See, you never seen no rain like that. You haven't seen nothing yet. Hey, in the Middle East, y'all think that Dubai is a nice place to run and hide now? You can get in the hotel and order some liquor in a Muslim country. They might even have a pig foot there for you. But they woke up one morning a week or so ago in Dubai with 10 inches or 10 centimeters of snow on the ground in the desert. Don't you ever think that you can go somewhere and God can't get to you when He wants to make an example of you. So I'm saying to Mr. Trump, not being disrespectful, I'm going to talk to you about him now. Who is he? You can come, bring your army, but if you slaughter my little young brothers, watch what God will do for you, Mr. Trump, and for the country that you said you want to make great again. That's not going to happen, Mr. Trump. America will never be made great again. Her days of greatness are over.
And men like Trump say that they're going to do something and make it happen. Okay? So this is the great lie that this group feeds you. They teach you that black men can murder, rape, steal, kill, act like animals, and destroy their own community. But if law enforcement brings in the order to stop them from doing these things, then the America and law enforcement will incur the wrath of God, because these people are protected in their mischief. So black women, please leave these groups alone and do not raise your daughters in these groups. They have some good things about, raising your daughter in a more feminine manner. But you need good men who are going to be protective of those women who are raised in their feminine elements. Okay? You just don't give those kind of girls just to anybody. And most of these men are not fit to be husbands to these type of girls. That is one thing that they do. They do raise girls to be submissive and feminine and listen to their husbands, but they're not getting good husbands. And they end up being destroyed emotionally because of the men that they're being paired with. So I ask you to just raise your daughters, how you're supposed to raise them, but pair them up with men who are marriage-minded and protectors, real protectors. Now, what God condones rape, murder, assault of women and children, but as soon as the perpetrators of those crimes against women and children get got, then those who check the perpetrators will suffer wrath? Does that make any sense to you? Do you want to submit to that type of God? It is ultimately up to you what you choose to believe, and what you decide to do, but ultimately your choice and the consequences of your choice are your responsibility. Not the men that you submit to or keep following with this foolishness and these lies. Ultimately, it is your responsibility. These groups do not care about women and children. They exist solely to exalt black males who they teach that they are God of the universe and can do no wrong. Okay? These groups are also closely related to Satanism and the occult. You already have Minister Farrakhan tying his group to the Scientologists, an occultist organization whose leader said that he was Satan incarnate. Okay, so the Scientologist believes that they are godlike and that they have deteriorated over time. And the promise of Scientology is that through Scientology counseling or auditing, that a lot of those Scientologists have, said it's a demonic process, the person can regain their godlike abilities. This is what Farrakhan tied you all to. Okay? So these groups are both, believing that the man is God, but Nation of Islam does not believe that they have lost their godlike abilities. They say that the black man is God, ruler of the universe, maker of heaven and earth. Scientologists say that their people are gods, but they've just lost their godlike abilities, and they just need the auditing process to reconnect. So Nation of Islam just tied you all back to L. Ron Hubbard, who is a known Satanist, and not only Satanist, but claims that he is Satan himself. You all do the math.